Thank you for coming today, Andrea. Before we get started, Andrea is an SBI client and Startup Incubator resident at Cal State Fullerton's Entrepreneurship Center. And this means that Andrea got to work with Cal State Fullerton business students and mentors to help her launch her new business. And saying that, why don't I pass it to you, Andrea, to tell us a little bit about your enterprise?
Bloom is a company that offers life coaching services based on subscription-based terms. People can come and work with a life coach for as low as $29 a month.
Oh, okay, so you're essentially working with anybody who's looking for some life coaching and some help in that need, would you say?
Right. Anybody that's looking to get clarity on what their goals are, maybe be reminded of what their strengths are. A lot of people, they need to talk to someone, and sometimes there's just nothing wrong with us. We don't need a therapy. We just need to be reminded, okay, this is where I'm going. This is what my goal is. These are my strengths, and this is the plan that I need in order to get there. So that's how we are different, than traditional therapy.
I see. And what did you ask the students to do?
What we asked them to do was to pretty much create a go-to-market strategy in which Bloom can be positioned as a leading brand when it comes to life coaching services in the US. We wanted to make sure that the industry is very segmented. There is actually no leading brand, and our vision has always been to become that. Just like when you want a coffee, you think of Starbucks. We want people, whenever they are in a specific point in their life, to think of Bloom when they need a life coach.
I see. And what inspired you to go out there and help out other people like this? It can be pretty, me being a college student too, or was a college student, I often feel some feelings of being lost and what I want to do in the future. What inspired you to go down this path?
Exactly that. I think I was at a point in my life that I felt a little lost, and I felt that there was something wrong with me. And coaching really helped me reconnect with the things that I value in life. It helped me see things in a different light, in a different perspective, and I was able to completely turn my life around and break through a lot of limiting beliefs that were keeping me stuck in things that weren't really making me happy. So my vision in life is to be able to provide that space, that container for people to do exactly the same thing that I needed to do when I decided to transform my life.
Okay, so these students helped you out a little bit when it comes to, getting that brand image and this go-to-market strategy that you were looking for. What did you like best about the student consulting experience?
So I don't know if I got lucky, and I wouldn't say that they helped me a little bit. They actually helped a lot. It was a great group of students that very bright minds. They all came from different paths, different backgrounds. That created the diversity that we needed. And they pretty much just want to work for us. And they were very open to, communicate with us, understand the vision. They were on point all the time in regards to what we needed to do. We needed to understand the market. We needed to understand who else was out there, who's our competitors. There's a lot of misinformation around life coaching. People don't really trust it. And we wanted to make sure, okay, what is it that we need to do in order to be able to inform people, educate people, and position ourselves as a leading brand when it comes to coaching. And they did just that.
Got it. And how do you think did these student recommendations help you achieve some of these goals that you were shooting for?
So they created a report of over 100 pages, and we're actively engaging with that report when it comes to marketing strategies, operational strategies. We go back to that document, and it becomes kind of like a roadmap We're in the very early stages of launching. We just launched our MVP, and that becomes, kind of like our guidebook. Um, yeah, we really use it as a reference almost every day. I'm always speaking at it and kind of validating my thoughts with whatever is on that report.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what the experience was like when you first showed up and how it goes for somebody who doesn't necessarily know how this consulting program works?
Well, we had the vision of Bloom about 5 years ago. I've had my own coaching practice for over 10 years. The idea of expanding it and bringing more coaches so we can obviously touch more lives and transform more lives, it came to mind about 5 years ago. And we had a plan, we had the vision. And I think last year we were kind of ready to just get more advice on how to do that, how to be successful at launching the business. And that's how I came across the incubator. We applied, and since then we were paired up with a mentor coach, a business coach, and we started using the lean startup model. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, a little bit familiar with it, but you can give us a background of it.
So what I love about it is that unlike a traditional business plan, you don't have to spend months, trying to figure out your truth and your answers for how you think the business needs to be. It's very dynamic. You actually create assumptions and hypotheses. Okay, this is what we think our customers are. These are our channels, are the way that we want to create income. And then, you work on this model that is very agile because you're constantly going out there improving, and, going to market and talking to customer and see if what your hypotheses or assumptions are real or not. And you reiterate all the time. So that's what I loved about the incubator, that it uses that model instead of, having to spend, hundreds of hours on a traditional plan. With our coach, we meet weekly, and we're constantly talking about challenges, right? And vision and ideas and what's working and what's not working. So you're not alone. The journey of an entrepreneur can be bumpy, right? I think we have more lows than highs. And it's good to have, that team that is containing you and advising you in the times that you're really doubting the ideas or things that are not working, extremely resourceful as well. So that's what we did for about the first 3 months. It was really about, understanding the 9 different segments under the Canvas model, business model. And then once we were ready to start working with the students, I think we had a very good idea of how we wanted to position ourselves. And we met with a group of students. There were 5 different students, and it's like having, a team that you would pay thousands of dollars a month to be able to collaborate with you on the specific needs that we had, and research and studies that we needed to do in order for us to clarify our strategy. So it's very dynamic. It's pretty much like having your own team all the time instead of being solo.
Would you say that you would recommend to stick with going for a lean business plan?
I think it really depends. I don't think it depends where you are in the journey. I think if you're getting started, definitely go with a lean startup. If you're already looking for capital, maybe a traditional business plan is going to be needed. You really need to know just where you are in the business, in the stage of your business. But don't ever sit alone for hundreds of hours trying to figure out things on your own and thinking that you have the truth. I think that would be my advice for any entrepreneur.
Yeah, and it seems like a common theme with people who are in the incubator and working with the students is that having these multiple people around you who are essentially acting as filters to your ideas and things that you want to do. They come with some good ideas and criticism, right? That's something that we don't always get working as a solo entrepreneur.
Yeah, no, that's true. What happens is that sometimes we want our baby to be perfect. We want our vision to be perfect, and we can easily get stuck in having it, wanting to make it perfect, and then you never put it out there. And by the time you put it out there, it's either too late or you don't get the validation that you needed with your customers. And that was something that was, my business mentors always kept kind of, hammering on my head. It doesn't need to be perfect, just put it out there. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you had a good experience working with the students and mentors. And before we close it out, why don't you tell us why you recommend this service to others and what is a piece of advice you'd give to an entrepreneur who's thinking about signing up as an SBI client or incubator resident?
First thing is hire a coach because
Mm,
you want to be reminded of your strengths and get rid of that nagging voice that keeps you from, stepping into your power and your highest potential. And second, don't do it alone. I mean, go with an incubator. Cal State Fullerton for us has been, I think, the perfect team of minds that we needed in order for us to get our vision launched. So the investment is definitely worth it. I would highly recommend it. And trust that you have something.
I admire you being a coach, and especially with anybody who's trying to start up a business or try anything new. It can be scary, right? Um, and that's kind of about it. It's not always going to be perfect, but just go ahead and take that next step towards it.
Yeah, it is scary. It is scary because you start doubting yourself whether you're ready, whether you have the funds for it, whether your idea is good enough. All of those things are always going to be, in your mind. But and I don't think there's ever a point in which that stops. You just need to be able to have, the tools, the resources to be able to understand, those, okay, I understand, I hear those voices, but at the same time, I think, I can offer something of value to the world.
Well said. Well said. If anybody watching this wanted to check you out and get some advice from you, where's a good place to look?
So they can go to our website, bloomwith.us. We have different subscription plans that they can choose from as low as $29 a month. And our brand is all about human connection. And there's also an 800 number that they can call us if they're not sure if like coaching it's right for them.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Andrea. I appreciate it.